What do you say, guys? I'm Conan DeWaltz, and welcome to Half Truck Will Travel. I've got an old jack underneath that steer tire that I showed you last week. That jack doesn't work anymore, but it works good as a jack stand. So I hope you've all had a good week. So let's sneak up on Thunder Truck 3 back there and do a walk around. By the way, well, we'll make that a separate video on that. So let's sneak up on Thunder Truck 3 here. First, we'll say hello to a couple of good friends of mine in the neighborhood. What do you say, girls? You having a good day? That one there is Red. Has stuff in her face. I call her Red for obvious reasons. And then this one here is Pico. And not after Pico Boulevard, but after the peacock, because when the sun shines on her in the right angle, she's got the same color feathers as a peacock. So I call her Pico. But Red here is the smart one. Must be dinner time. You can have a conversation with Red and she'll listen to you. But Pico's a greedy gut. She loves food and only food. Alright, let's head back here and look at Thunder Truck 3. Now this one is a 1977 International. Model number Echo 1710A. So International Echo 1710A. Now this really is a Thunder truck, because when this thing's running, it really does sound like thunder. When I got this one, it didn't have the stacks or the air intakes like that. I built all that. And it was really quiet when I first got it. You could barely hear it running. And I bypassed the old muffler, took it off, threw it away. And then I built these stacks, and I put some baffles. It's all straight pipe, but I put some baffles in the pipe. But it still sounds like thunder. It's really awesome. It's got a V8 gasoline motor. I think it's a 387 cubic inch gasoline motor, or they call it petrol down here, with an automatic transmission. Allison automatic. I put the deck plate in this one. Look how rusty this one is now. Jeez. It's the same with this one. Well, I got this one in, let's see, I think it was 08. And when I got this one, I repainted this frame, and it looked really nice for a long time. And this was originally a fire truck. And the body was taken off it, and I took it just as a chassis truck. And I had this old fifth wheel at a home that I put on there. That was a big job with just hand tools, hand drill, and yeah, it was a big job. Let's come back here. I need some tires on this one as well. I built a really nice light bar on the back of this, and it got bent. So I took that off, and I'm building a new light bar. You can definitely see I need some new tires. But this is a cool truck, a 4.5 ton. I need a new fuel tank for it. That's rusted out as well. I don't want to take a chance with any rust in the fuel. So I'm going to replace that or add something on and tidy it all up and make it look good again. But let's go around to the front. You're probably wondering what this interesting bar is chained to the back here, but we'll talk about that later. Let's go around to the front and I'll show you why I bought this truck. Look, the girls are following me along the fence here. Hey, Red, what do you say? Say something. All right, let's go to the front. Squeeze through here. What happened was, when this was for sale, back up here without tripping over all this tall grass. When this was for sale, there was a picture of this truck in the newspaper, and I fell in love with the front of this truck. I love the front of this truck. And you couldn't see any of the rest of it, but I just think the front is just really good looking on this truck. The yellow stripe used to be a lot clearer and nicer, but the UVs ate into that. Oh, it's cold today. I don't know if you can tell, but you can probably see my hand shaking. You can see the phone shaking, but it's low, mid 30s probably. High 30s maybe. But, yeah, I love the front of this truck. And when I bought it, I took it on an epic trip all the way across Australia because it was for sale east of Melbourne, Victoria. If you look on a map, well, here they pronounce it Melbourne. But of course we pronounce it Melbourne, like Melbourne, Florida. Check out the spotlight up there. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I took this on an epic trip. along with one of my sons. He was only 3 years old at the time. And we flew out to Melbourne. And the guy put us up overnight. And we bought it. And then the next morning let's see, in miles, it would have been about maybe 2,500 miles across Australia. And it was one of the best drives I've ever done. I mean, it was just an awesome drive. Across the Nullarbor Plain. We stayed the night we stayed one night at the Nullarbor Roadhouse. Froze our asses off. And continued on across and got home with it. And started work on it. You can see I had, look at the rust I got in this down here now in these corners. What happened was it got stuck in storage for quite a while. And yeah, look at that. I got some work to do, don't I? We'll get it done. So what happened was the rust started below the windshield here. This is why I've kind of got it touched up and patched up. It's not holding up very well. This goop here that I used, this is supposed to be really, well, that's just the paint flaking off the goop. But the goop that I used was really good stuff. I mean, they used it on boats, so water shouldn't affect it. So I'll get another coat on that real soon just to help get it through the rest of the winter. But anyway, that'll be part of the show, is getting it tidied up again and ready for another trip, you know? Because I've got some things planned. And when we came across with this, we didn't get hotels and motels and all that kind of stuff. It took us we took our time, about 4 days to come across. And there's a bench seat in there, which you'll see one day. And below that window, and across from this side window here, is kind of like a shelving area where you could put luggage and stuff. But at the time, my son was only 3 years old. And he tucked away up there real nice and threw a couple of blankets over him, and that's how we did it. I added this battery box. It was just an old box I had sitting around. I turned it into a battery box. 2 batteries. But it's really heavy on fuel. I mean, it uses a lot of fuel. And I think it's got a 4-barrel Holly. I think it's 4. I haven't looked at it in a while. And so what I got to do is I did start it maybe about 6 weeks ago, 2 months ago. And it started, but it ran pretty rough. So I got to do some carburetor work. Definitely a cleanup on the carburetor. So get her running again. The list is get her running again. Some tires. A new light bar for the ass end. Such a cool truck though. But this bar here I've got chained on the back end here. You're probably wondering about, and I'll come back here and give you a better view of it. Now you can see there, there's a kingpin there. So what I did was I put this thing together. It's got a lot of attention down here because I used this to tow the truck. And so what I did was, you've seen those tow bar setups in the US where you can hook a prime mover to another prime mover and tow it along. And then it has a jack in here that you can jack up and get the wheels off the ground. So I designed this after that. It was based on those, but instead of putting a jack in it, I just put a solid bar with a kingpin on the end. And what I did was I jacked the truck up from underneath. So I put a jack underneath the differential, jacked it up. I can't stop my hand from shaking. It's cold. Jacked it up, and then I chained it and strapped it. So you see how it's on an angle here. So that's in the towing position. So if I jack that up, that bar would come up horizontal instead of on an angle. And then the wheels would be off the ground. Because the chain runs down underneath the axle, you see? Now those things in the US where you've got where it's all built in, you jack it up and all that kind of stuff, they're very expensive. But a friend welded this one up for me for a few $100s, so it's been very good. But I think I'll wrap it up shortly because it's fairly chilly. It's coming up on sundown, which is why I guess there's a very cold wind blowing. So what do you say, girls? You ready to talk now? Huh? You're ready, I'm ready. You've had your dinner? And you're ready for a talk? See how smart she is? She'll listen to you. And like I was saying, it was a fire truck. Down here they call them fireys. And I turned it into a little tractor, which I used quite a bit at the house. I had a really big backyard, and I moved some trailers around quite a bit. And it's been a very good truck, but we'll get her feeling good again. I think I've got some, besides tires and getting this one running, I think I've got a problem in the back end here. I noticed when I had it jacked up one time, I noticed that, I don't know, the wheels, when I had the drive shaft hooked up, the wheels would turn when they weren't supposed to be turning, if you know what I mean. Okay, guys, I'm going to get warm. Go get warm. Have a good week. And adios, con drogos.